Bruh. Tony Pollard at 34.5 rushing yards is an insane square on PrizePicks. I'm about to tell you why. Quite obvious. Let's start off with some numbers. Tony Pollard currently leads the NFL in 40-plus rushing yard attempts. He leads the NFL with the most rushes of 40-plus yards. He is the anti-Zeke thesis. His line is 34.5 versus Detroit. This is a 6.5-point favorite game for Dallas. They are going to lean on Pollard. They are going to lean on Zeke. Them two are going to get 35 to 40 touches between the two of them. They are going to eat up clock. Tony Pollard is one carry away from hitting this line. Like I said, he leads the NFL in 40-plus yard rushes. Dak's first game bike here, okay? He just missed 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever he just missed from a finger injury. You think they want him throwing the ball 40 times a game? No. This is where Pollard, Zeke go crazy. Not even to start on the fact that the Detroit Lions rush defense is one of the worst in the NFL. They currently allow the third most yards per carry to opposing backs, the second most fantasy points to opposing backs. Tony Pollard about to eat these motherfuckers for lunch tomorrow. This is the easiest line on PrizePicks this Sunday. Okay, he's hit this in 4 out of the last 5. It's beautiful. It's sitting there crispy for you. Go make some money. Go make some money. Also, quick announcement, if you're watching this before Sunday, for the games tomorrow, the BDGE team, we're going to be in Hoboken. We're setting up in front of 80 River Bar with our partners Mojo. We're going to be in their big-ass blue-green clown truck. You can't miss us. We're going to do some meet and greet. We're going to interview people on the street. We're going to bring them in to trade. If you're in New Jersey, if you live in Hoboken, if you live anywhere in Jersey or New York or the tri-state area, you want to come hang out with us tomorrow, we're going to go rip the fucking bars after the 1 to 4 o'clock slate, because that's when we'll be doing the Mojo stuff. We're going to have a good ass time. So if you're in the area, you want to come meet us, 1 to 4 p.m., Hoboken, in front of 80 River Bar. I believe it's by Texas, Arizona. It ain't that fucking hard to just Google that sheesh. So I hope to see some of you guys out there, man. That would be cool as hell to meet y'all. What's going up? What's going? I can't even string words together already. We're about 2 minutes and 23 seconds into this bish. What up, Aaron? How we doing, baby? Hope you had a great week. We had a productive week. I'm ready to fucking end it on a strong note. Big Q&Assault. Big Saturday night. Bigger Sunday. How we doing? Full PPR, would you go Sutton or Bateman? So I guess we're still waiting to hear a little bit more on Bateman, but right now I'm actually, even coming off a multi-week injury, I am more confident in Bateman as the one. I think we've seen like what that passing offense is without him, and as inconsistent as he was in the beginning of the year, or as like low volume, low whatever, all these numbers they want to throw out, he's a very, very big piece of it. I think we're going to see that kind of come to fruition this weekend with the Ravens. So I actually like Bateman over Sutton now that Russell Wilson has been ruled out. What up, Mike? Mikey baby. Niner. Check Niner. What's popping? Been waking and baking, watching UFC since 7 a.m. There's UFC on at 7 a.m.? The fuck? People just want to wake up and get punched in their face? Get the bag. Get it how you live it, I guess. Njoku or Pitts, half PPR, start you off with a whack one. Yeah, I'm Njoku here, bro. I think Njoku's just been Njoku's basically been what we wanted Kyle Pitts to be. The Ravens outside corners have started to play well, but they can still absolutely be beat over the middle, which I think is kind of clamped down. Their run defense and their outside corners have both played pretty well. So, Chubb might have a little bit of tough time running. Cooper might have some tough time. I think Njoku's just been as solid as they go. So, yeah, it's Njoku for me. What up, Beard Man? Fellow Beard guy. Also, by the way, I forgot to say on that PrizePicks line, obviously, if you're new to PrizePicks and you use our code BDGE the first time on there, you're going to get a 100% deposit match. The link will be right down below. It'll take you right to the App Store. But please go nail that Tony Pollard 34.5 rushing yards. You're just letting free money slip out your fingers. Hope everything is going well for you. I hope things are going better for you than they are for me. Quick question. Who's a favorable matchup if and only if Mark Andrews is out this week? How about his direct backup, Isaiah Likely? Athletic, really solid backup tight end right there. I think Mark Andrews is going to be fine. I think it was just like a minor tweak that he probably had that they wanted to give him enough rest. But he is a guy that that I'm actually kind of comfortable throwing into my lineup if he doesn't play. So Isaiah Likely, Daniel Bellinger out in New York. If he's I'm trying to give you guys that are probably unowned. Bellinger, I have Hayden Hurst at like 14, 15. I had Juwan Johnson at 16, so he was kind of highly rated, but obviously already played. Greg Dulcich, I guess with Brett Ripien, it's not really that exciting anymore. But yeah, those are guys I would go for. But I think the Isaiah Likely 1-for-1 pivot is a pretty good spot for you. 2 trades. Let me know which side you would take on each. Full PPR. We have DeAndre Swift, T. Higgins, and Jacoby Myers, or Evans, Ramondre, and Melvin. We'll start off with the first trade. So we have DeAndre Swift, T. Higgins, and Jacoby Myers. We have Mike Evans, we have Ramondre, and we have Melvin Gordon. Oh, that's an interesting trade. A lot of powerhouse players here. So 2 really good players on each side. Evans and Higgins straight up are probably... Man, this is almost dead even for me. I almost feel like Ramondre and Swift kind of cancel each other out, although Damian Harris is back. So I'm kind of intrigued to see. For this week, for sure, I still love Stevenson. I think he's like my RB 9 or 10 on the week. I don't imagine they throw, the sentiment around Harris's hamstring injury was that it was going to be multi-week. He's already back. So I think he'll probably be pretty limited in this one. So I like Stevenson for this week, but long-term, it probably goes back to a little bit of a committee. DeAndre Swift, we know, is a stud, but he's been dealing with a lot of injuries just throughout his career, right? So it's a little bit tough to say if he'll stay steady. You know what? I think the Bucks get it together, and Evans continues to roll as well. So I'll actually sit on the second side of that. I'll go with Evans, Ramondre, and Melvin there. Surprisingly, next trade we got CD and Jamal Williams, or Brandon Cooks and Raheem Mostert. I will take the CD and Jamal Williams side. I have very little faith in Brandon Cooks at this point as anything more than like a 40, 50-yard floor. And Raheem Mostert, I also don't have a lot of faith that I don't see us in week 17 being like, yes, Raheem Mostert continued to be the guy for the whole year. So I will take the CD side there. For 1 flex spot, full PPR, Brian Robinson, Romeo Doubs, Garrett Wilson, or Tyquan Thornton. So I know off the rip, I'm probably going to sit Doubs. Garrett Wilson gets a little bit intriguing because they are playing without Elijah Moore this weekend, but it is the Denver Corners. And listen, I get like Corey Davis has had like 20 more yards than every other wide receiver each week. I don't think like the Denver defensive coordinator is going to be like, yeah, if we got to have Patrick Surtain like really lock someone down, it's going to be Corey Davis over Garrett Wilson. I get it. The analytical nerds will tell you that's not true. But if you're a human being, which most of these defensive coordinators are, they lean the other way. So I think Garrett Wilson could be in for a big game, but I'm a little bit skeptical because of the defense and because of the fact that I think we just know he's better than Corey Davis. Tyquan Thornton I like, but I think in full PPR it's a little risque because he's not a high volume player. I do feel pretty good about Brian Robinson, man. 17 touches last week and clear number 1. Green Bay Packers have not been playing great ball. They're not really good against the run. So I actually think I lean Brian Robinson here. What the fuck is these? Start Swift or ETN this week. PPR scared Swift might be limited. Yeah, let me see if we can get any like really up to the minute update on Swift right now. DeAndre Swift lean towards playing, neither AC nor ankle sprain, 3 weeks out, impact running back per play production, but data suggests more committee approach than normal. Week 7. Okay, that makes sense. So people expect him to play. People also expect him to probably be in a little bit more of a committee with Jamal Williams. That being said, however, ETN is also in a committee. Tough defense against the Giants. So we have the Lions versus the Cowboys, also a very tough defense. Man, that's interesting. I think I actually just go with Swift here, man. He's had a lot of time to just kind of sit and marinate with that injury, and I think he's been able to rest up. So I'll take the guy. They're actually similar, super similar players. I'm pretty sure that was like the comp I had for him coming out, but I'll go with Swift there. For 1 flex spot, full PPR, Jamal Williams, George Pickens, or Tyquan Thornton. I actually like Pickens this week. I like Pickens now that Pickett is bike. He's been a guy that they just kind of force feed when he's there. Good production. Would you drop Alex Pierce or Doubs to stash Wandell? I would not drop Alec Pierce. I think Doubs and Wandell are probably about even, but I think I would probably rather hold on to Doubs. I have more confidence that I have more confidence that Rodgers figures it out than I do that this offense like continues to roll out production for New York. Plus, like, I get it. Like, Wandell looked good last week, and he's probably going to be one of their playmakers going forward. But he also had like 35 yards. I get that he got into the end zone, but it wasn't like an 8-target game or anything. So, I'm not gonna get overly excited about Mr. Robinson. Full PPR, pick 2, Lazard, McLaurin, or Ayuk. I will go with Lazard, who's been wildly consistent, and actually, I'll go with Ayuk here. I really just want no part of Taylor Heineke. The Taylor Heineke experiment last year was dreadful for Terry McLaurin owners. It was just like every week he was leaving 80 yards and a touchdown on the field. Man, I just can't do it to you. Full PPR, Otten or Foster Moreau. Okay, well, if Darren Waller's out, I actually really like Foster Moreau. This dude is he's one of those dudes that like for years we want to get the opportunity, right? He's like the Irv Smith, he's like the Dallas Goedert. He's like that dude we know will pop if they just take the lid off his Pringles can. You know, terrible fucking analogy, but you get what I'm saying. So if he gets the chance, yeah, I actually really like Foster Moreau. So obviously, if Darren Waller plays, then you don't play Moreau. But if he doesn't, I like him. Was popping. 10-team tiered PPR recently traded away Aaron Jones and Jacoby Myers for Pittman and Bateman. Was done is done. I love that. But how do you feel about it? Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, Aaron Jones just isn't doing what we wanted to do. So it's easy to look at the name and be like, "Fuck, you gave away Aaron Jones," but Aaron Jones really hasn't been doing much. I'm a big fan of Bateman going forward. Have been a big fan of Pittman. So yeah, I think it's a fair trade for sure. I like it, especially if you're starting 3 wide receivers. If you could start 4 to 5 wide receivers, and this is I think a good trade for you. Russ is out, but you could argue that the O won't be any worse without him. Yeah, that's fair. The way I look at a dude like Sutton, though, is the offense maybe might not be worse, but as the quarterbacks move down tiers, the biggest drop off for QB play typically ends up being, deep accuracy and then targets outside of the hash marks, right? And that's typically where you see a dude like Cortland Sutton rack up his yards, either big plays or the outside like 17-yard out routes, right? So we could see Brett Rypien maybe be okay and move the ball, but it could be more dump offs for running backs. It could be more slot shots for Jerry Jeudy, things like that. So typically, when the starting quarterbacks go down, like we see the biggest detriment to the passing game happen outside the numbers and then deep down the field, of course. It just makes common sense. What up, Mr. Influence? Half PPR, Evan Ingram, Foster Moreau, or Daniel Bellinger? Waller got ruled out for sure, right? Okay, let me actually just fuck around with my rankings right now for good. Oh, I actually had him out already. What am I doing over here? Let me throw him into the rankings then. I'm going to put Foster Moreau as my tight end 10, right above Evan Ingram and right behind Dalton Schultz. And in terms of flex action, I will put him right above a few wide receivers. Wilson, Tyquan, Damian Harris. Now we're going to move him down below those guys. There you go. So right now he's 84th overall in my flex. He is my tight end 11, I believe that was. Let me just get this for you. Yep, tight end 11 right now against Houston. So I have him 1 spot above Evan Ingram. I have him 2 spots above Bellinger. It's basically Moreau 11, Ingram 12, Bellinger 13. Sorry for not updating that earlier. My bad. Anyone that wants to be part of Q&Assault or anyone that just wants my weekly rankings updated, as you can see in real time, go to bdge.co, bdge.co, and become a Big Dog member. They are up there, posted every Thursday around noon, and they'll be updated throughout the weekend. Pick 1 in full PPR: Damian Harris, Kareem Hunt, AJ Dillon, or B Rob. I have Harrison right now because he got 2 full practices in Bear. Yeah, I'm gonna fade Damian Harris for right now. I understand he's been practicing a little bit, but I still have skepticism that they give him the workload that he was getting beforehand. Like Ramondre's just been so good. How do you not let him feature it? So I will lean towards either Hunt or Brian Robinson because it is full PPR. I have, let's see. I have Hunt at RB24. I have Brian Robinson at RB26. So, that's half PPR. So I'd say it even leans a little bit more towards Hunt in full PPR. I actually like Hunt there. So Tommy Baby, pick 3. Alec Pierce, Rashad Bateman, Romeo Doubs, Cortland Sutton, and Christian Kirk. All right, so Bateman's going to be in my lineup. We're going to sit Dobbs. We're going to play Christian Kirk. And we are going to, what's it between? Sutton and Pierce. That's where they probably get a little bit closer to me. Where do I have Pierce? I got Sutton a little bit too high, I feel like. I have Sutton ranked higher. All right, so we'll go Bateman, Sutton, and Kirk there. Why is Dobbs so low on your rankings? I mean, he just it feels like his kind of like reckless play and reckless route running and just what kind of had him going during the summer and what had him going early on in the season is kind of flamed out. Like, I feel like, I don't know if I want to say necessarily teams have figured him out, because I doubt like teams' defensive plans are like, let's figure out Romeo Doubs and shut him down. But I mean, the last 3 weeks, 47 yards, 29 yards, 21 yards against good defenses, New England, Jets, Giants. I don't know. They've just been spreading the ball around a little bit more against the Commanders. I could see them going a little bit more run heavy. Lazard's been the guy there. Tanyan's even getting involved. So yeah, I just moved him down. Maybe it's recency bias, but I feel like a lot of the flair that he had with the momentum in the beginning of the season is kind of just washed out a little bit. Thoughts on Swift against Dallas, assuming he plays? Yeah, I mean, I went over Swift for a while before. I'm probably going to play him in most scenarios. He's had quite a while to rest up. They'll probably, I mean, they're 6.5-point underdogs, so I'd imagine they're going to have to play catch up a lot, and that's where Swift kind of thrives. ETN or Brian Robinson, 2-point PPR. Interesting. All right, if we're getting into 2-point PPR, I'm gonna lean ETN here. I could for sure see him having a big breakout game in this type of scenario. Bellinger or Schultz? Give me Schultzy, baby. Schultzy's bike. He's playing full time. Dak's bike. Ike loves Schultz. Brian Robinson or AJ Dillon, half PPR. I'm assuming most of you guys just have my rankings straight up. If you're in this chat right now, if you're part of the Q&Assault live, you probably have the rankings, which again, you can go check out on BDGE.co. So most of those questions can be answered for you. I have Brian Robinson, RB26. I have AJ Dillon, RB27. So, they're right next to each other, kind of a coin flip, but if I had to choose, I would go Robinson. Bateman or Alec Pierce? Bateman for me. Full PPR. Start 1. Higgins or Kenneth Walker? Wow. Jesus Christ. That feels like I hate answering these questions, bro. It's just like you got 10 good players on your team and you need to just choose the worst of the bad, the worst of the fucking best ones. You don't even deserve an answer. Just fucking enjoy your victory. I think I have Kenneth Walker probably ranked higher. I think my tiebreaker, I think I have Kenneth Walker ranked higher just because he's been so fucking good. I want to say Higgins is probably still not 100% from the ankle injury. So that'd be like a tiebreaker for me. Thanks, Nick, for all your advice. Got me 2 titles. Love you, Michael. Just one question. Should I keep C-Mac or try to trade for Josh Allen or other players? Cheers from Austria, Europe. Michael, I love you. Thank you for supporting. This question, I for sure need way more context to it. Is this redraft? Is this a 1-quarterback league? Is this full PPR? Is this Dynasty? I need a little bit more in the details here, if you all don't mind. Speaking of Josh Allen, well, speaking of the Buffalo Bills, we've got something really fucking cool going on right now. Thanks to Pristine Auction. So Pristine Auction has given us this Stephon Diggs signed full-size replica helmet. This thing is beautiful. I'm really pissed that we actually have to give it away because it would look dynamite in the back of my videos. But nonetheless, Pristine Auction has given it to us to give to you guys because we want y'all to check out their platform. And if you do so, you're going to be automatically entered into this absolutely fucking free giveaway. You literally don't have to do anything. You don't have to pay. You don't have to do anything besides sign up on the platform and use our code BDGE. Okay? You don't got to put a credit card in. You don't got to buy shit. But if you do put the code BDGE in, not only are you getting a free entrance into this giveaway for the Diggs signed helmet, we'll be doing one of these every single month, but it will give you $10 for towards your first raffle. So they've got signed memorabilia from every NFL, MLB, NBA, any sport, any athlete, any type of memorabilia you want. You know, you got a big spot on the back of your fucking wall that you want to throw a jersey up there for. They got jerseys, they got helmets, they got bats, they got footballs, they got all types of balls. Big ball website. Okay. So go check out Pristine Auction. Link is right down below. Use code BDGE when you get on there for the first time, and you're going to get $10 towards your first auction. They have fucking unbelievable prices going on. People are lazy. They don't want to do auctions. But if you gut it out and you do the auction, you're getting it for unbelievable prices. And when you use the code, again, you're getting entered into an absolutely free raffle for the Stephon Diggs signed helmets. You'll love to see it. Think it might be a bounce bike spot for Kirk. Giants really good against wide receiver, but slot pass catcher's been eating against them, I think. Yeah, listen, Kirk's just a guy that I kind of will continue to believe in. He's one of those dudes, and I said this a lot this summer, like people love to talk about a player's fantasy finish at the end of the year, but then when you're in season, it'd be like, oh, he's like the wide receiver 13 on the year. I want to draft him at that spot. But then during the year, you can never predict consistency. So the way I look at Kirk, I'm like, Kirk for me is for sure a top 18 fantasy wide receiver going forward. I will continue to play him as such, but I'm not going to continue to play him on a week by week basis as if I know which weeks he's going to put up the wide receiver 18, the wide receiver 6, the wide receiver 46 finishes. I just believe he's a top 20 wide receiver going forward. Therefore, if I don't have 4 top 20 wide receiver fantasy wide guys going forward in my lineup already above him, he will be in my lineup. I'm not trying to get into the nitty gritty of like the matchups when it comes to slot wide receivers for it, because I feel like those things can be very frugal. Like one target could be the difference between this and that. So Kirk's a guy I just believe in, and he'll ebb and flow with the offense, but I'm in on Kirk for sure. At what point is Dylan a drop candidate? I don't think you can make Dylan a drop candidate really ever, because he is a dude that brings so much fucking value if something happens. One, if the offense gets it together, but two, if something happens to Jones, he's just like, it's weird to say, you're like, oh, he's probably not a league winner because they're not getting a lot of production. But when all the production between the two of them gets siphoned into one player, it's so valuable. So I don't, unless we start seeing games where Dylan gets like 6 touches, 5 touches consistently, maybe. But for now, I just don't think he's droppable. Would you drop Bellinger or Schultz for Higbee? Yes, for sure. I would drop either of them, but I would probably drop Bellinger first. Higbee's like one of the top guys right now. He's getting 8-10 targets a game. Full PPR, Flex 1, Jeff Wilson, Kenyon Drake, Michael Carter, Dalton Schultz. Kenyon Drake with J.K. Dobbins out. I know Justice Hill is returning, but it feels like it's Drake's backfield. He earned it after last week's. With Jeff Wilson, I don't know what's going to happen with C-Mac. You know what? I guess it's kind of like a wait and see. If C-Mac doesn't play, then Jeff Wilson. If C-Mac plays, even if he's on a limited basis, I still think they get like a handful, 5 to 10 touches, goal line work, maybe some pass catching work. So I would lean Drake there if C-Mac is active. Full PPR, pick one: Dylan, Alec Pierce, or Bateman. Bateman for me. How much fab should drop on Darren Waller's stash? He just got dropped. I have Higbee and streaming. I mean, how much fab you got? I would sir. I mean, Darren Waller's been out for a minute, huh? Let me see if we have like any concrete like return timetable for this dude. He didn't practice all week. Obviously not good. Listen, it's Darren Waller. If you're gearing up for like the fantasy playoffs, I would still probably drop a pretty significant dollar amount on him, you know, somewhere in like the 30 to 50. Full PPR, Flex 1, wide receiver 1. Sutton, Pickens, Jeff Wilson, Brian Robinson, AJ Dillon. So Wilson will be my number 1 player on this board if C-Mac doesn't play. We need 1 wide receiver between Sutton, Pickens. Oh, just between those two. Damn, I still have Sutton ranked a little bit higher. I got Sutton at wide receiver 23, I think it is, and then Pickens at wide receiver 25. 26-ish. So I still have Sutton ranked higher, but like they're really, really close. They're in the same tier for me. I wouldn't. I don't know. Tough matchup, and they do have Brett Rippon at quarterback, so I'm not going to blame you if you go Pickens over Sutton. I feel like Sutton's kind of earned the right to be in your lineup, though, as the guy for Denver. You need one flex. I kind of like the running backs probably a little bit more than I like the wide receivers here. Again, if Jeff Wilson doesn't, if C-Mac doesn't play, we'll get Dylan out of there, right? So if C-Mac doesn't play, then go Jeff Wilson, of course. If C-Mac plays, then I might run out both. I actually might run out both wide receivers since it's full PPR. Bash flex, Jeff Wilson, McKinnon, Sammy Watkins, and MVS. Jeff Wilson for me, regardless of C-Mac. Pick 2 for my flex spots. We don't have a scoring type, which is kind of detrimental. Just off the look here, I'd go Kenyon Drake and I guess A.J. Dillon because Melvin Gordon is supposedly supposed to start for Denver. Drop Damian Harris to stash Rashad White. Full PPR. Other running backs, Eckler, Hunt, Dillon, B-Rob. Full PPR. If you don't imagine playing Damian Harris at any point, which I feel like you kind of got better options in full PPR, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, yeah. Okay, Michael said super flex redraft half PPR. Of course. Listen, those are my standard settings, but they're not everybody's standard settings. You're out here in Europe, you guys might be using the fucking fantasy metric system. I don't know what y'all be doing out there. Fucking crazy Europeans. Just one question. Should I keep C-Mac or try to trade for Josh Allen or other players? I mean, listen, I would like to keep C-Mac for sure. I mean, he's going to be a baller down the stretch. If you can get him for Josh Allen in a super flex league, fuck yeah. Pull that shit. But C-Mac is not a trade. He's not a guy I'm like looking to actively trade now that he's on the 49ers. No way. No fucking way. ETN or T. Higgins this week, full PPR. Ooh, the ETN game is coming. The explosion game is coming. I will still probably go with Higgins here, though. Free, you say. What did I say free? Sometimes I'd be getting, oh, Nate was good, big. Sometimes the chats are tough because I try to like give analysis for each one, and it takes me like 2 minutes per. Oh, you're talking about for Pristine Auction. 2 minutes, 3 minutes per analysis, so that by the time I get to the next question, we're like 19 minutes behind. So then people just kind of like drop comments in there without context, so I forget what the fuck I'm talking about. Welcome to my life. Deonta Foreman or Latavius Murray. Also thoughts on James Robinson. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from Deonta Foreman. I'm gonna stay away from the Panthers offense. I'm gonna stay away from everything that involves Carolina's football organization for right now. Also thoughts on James Robinson. Well, I would play James Robinson over Latavius Murray, but I am not happy about him whatsoever. If I have him on my team, which I do in the Eat Sound Get Down, I am sick to my fucking stomach because it feels like it's ETN's backfield. James Robinson, that Achilles comeback is looking less and less gorgeous. So I'd play Latavius Murray, I guess, but I'm not happy about either of those. What up, Mikey Baby? How we doing? Doing good. Doing good. We're almost at the 30-minute mark. You just fucking made it in here. Rashad Bateman or Gabe Davis in Dynasty? Ooh. I feel like you kind of got to just go with Gabe Davis. I feel like you just have to buy into players attached to guys like Josh Allen. Like we know Gabe Davis is now here for the long run with Josh Allen, right? So this is one of those I'm just not going to think too hard about. Even if you don't believe in Gabe Davis as a good player, it just feels like he's going to be the Mike Williams forever, right? Where his like floor for the season is going to be 900, 1,000 yards and probably 8 touchdowns because you're playing with a guy who's going to throw 40 touchdowns a year. So I'm with Gabe Davis there probably. Ryan Tannehill. Okay, this is out of control. Ryan Tannehill, Mariota Brissett, or Derrick Henry in my Superflex. Already playing Mixon, Barkley. Well, first off, Derrick Henry belongs over Mixon. Derrick Henry's going to go nuts. The Colts' run defense actually is not very great. We got Tua and Josh Allen on a bye. Already playing Mixon, Barkley, and Chubb. So yeah, you play Henry, you play Barkley, you play Chubb, and then you're asking for your Superflex spot. Would you play Mixon? Matt Ryan, Tannehill, Mariota, Brissett. I would, man, personally, I would play a quarterback over Mixon, which is tough because this should be a good game for Mixon against the Falcons' run defense. But I just feel way better playing a fucking QB because you got who? Mariota, I guess a tough D. Tannehill versus the Colts should be relatively low-scoring game. But on the flip side, I kind of like Matt Ryan here. I kind of like Matt Ryan in this game. The Tennessee Titans defense, their pass defense is atrocious. So I think I'd go Matt Ryan, Derrick Henry, and sit Mixon. One full PPR, Waddle or Stevenson. That's just out of control. That's just fucking disrespectful. How stacked are all your teams? Like what leagues are you playing in, my guy? Leagues you got to sit fucking Jalen Waddle and Joe Mixon? You pissing me off today, Mike. You fucking chose the wrong day to piss me off like this. Fuck. How do you sit Jalen Waddle with Tua returning? I have Stevenson ranked 16th overall. I have Jalen Waddle ranked 21st overall in flex. That is half PPR, so they probably meet the difference there. I'm going to let you choose that because that's just some bullshit. You got it, Christopher. Mike, you got any more bullshit questions for me before I get off the stream? You want to get me fucking livid right now? Hang. Happy birthday, Ichiro, by the way. All right, that's 30 minutes. We're going to wrap it up. Two things. Remember, please, this fucking line is atrocious for so many reasons. I'll list them really quickly. Pollard leads the NFL in 40-plus yard rush attempts. They are big favorites against Detroit. Detroit is terrible against running backs. Dak is bike. Fingers, problems, run ball. It's fucking so easy right here. Tony Pollard on PrizePicks. Link is down below. The link to get onto PrizePicks in the description, as well as the one for Pristine Auction. Use promo code BDGE on every fucking site you go on to. I don't care if you're on fucking Nordstrom, Pristine Auction, on Pornhub. You checking out, you're using promo code BDGE. We got discounts all over the web for you. I love you. Good luck in week 7. If you're in Hoboken tomorrow, come check us out. 80 River Bar. The team will be there. We out of here.